The doorbell rang while I was watering my rose garden. I wasn't expecting anyone that Tuesday morning, but when I opened the front door, there stood my daughter-in-law Jennifer with the biggest fake smile I'd ever seen. Next to her was a tall man carrying a brown bag. "Good morning, Margaret," Jennifer said in that sweet voice she uses when she wants something. "We need to come inside right now. It's important." I wiped my hands on my gardening apron and stepped aside. They walked straight into my living room like they owned the place. The man opened his bag and pulled out a bunch of papers. Jennifer turned to me and said, "Mom, we found a buyer for the house. Everything is signed. You need to pack your things and leave by Friday." I stood there in my dirty garden shoes, looking at her perfect makeup and expensive purse. "What are you talking about?" "Yes." She pointed at the papers. "The house is sold. We already got the money. You can go live with your sister in Ohio." The man nodded and said, "The new owners take over this weekend. You're not allowed to stay here anymore." My heart started beating fast, but I didn't let them see I was scared. I looked at those papers he was holding up. Right there on the front page I saw my name. Or at least something that looked like my name. "I never signed anything," I said slowly. Jennifer laughed a little laugh that made my skin feel cold. "Oh, Margaret, don't you remember? Last month when you had that bad cold. We helped you sign some papers so we could take care of things for you." She talked to me like I was a little kid who forgot her homework. "You were so tired and sick. We were just trying to help." I thought back to last month. Yes, I had been sick with a terrible cold. Jennifer and my son Michael had visited me a few times. They brought me soup and medicine. But I never signed any papers. I would remember something that important. "That's not true," I said. My voice was shaking now. "I would never sell my house without knowing it." Jennifer walked closer to me and put her hand on my shoulder. "Poor thing. Maybe your memory isn't as good as it used to be. That's okay. We're taking care of everything now." The man in the suit put the papers back in his bag. "Mrs. Margaret Thompson," he read from a card. "According to these documents, you gave your son and his wife permission to sell this property. They are the new legal owners. You must leave." Felt dizzy. This house was everything to me. My husband Robert and I bought it 40 years ago when it was just a small cottage by the beach. We spent years making it beautiful. We painted every wall together. We planted every tree in the yard. After Robert died 5 years ago, this house was all I had left of our life together. And now this woman was telling me I had to leave. "Where's Michael?" "Yes. Where's my son?" Jennifer smiled again. "He's at work, Mom. He knows all about this. In fact, it was his idea. He's been worried about you living alone in such a big house. What if you fall? What if something happens and nobody is here to help?" She made it sound like she cared. But I could see the truth in her eyes. She didn't care about me at all. She cared about my house. My beautiful beach house that was now worth millions of dollars. I took a step back from both of them. "Get out," I said quietly. Jennifer's smile disappeared. "Excuse me." I said, "Get out of my house. Right now." The man started to say something, but I pointed at the door. "Both of you. Get out." Jennifer's face turned red. "You can't kick us out. We own this house now. You're the one who needs to leave." But something inside me felt strong. Maybe it was anger. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was just love for the home I built with my husband. Whatever it was, it made me brave. "I don't care what those fake papers say. This is my house. I never signed anything. And if you don't leave right now, I'm calling the police." The man looked at Jennifer. Jennifer looked at me with eyes that were now filled with hate instead of fake sweetness. "You're making a big mistake, Margaret," she said. "We were trying to be nice about this. But if you want to do it the hard way, that's fine with us." They walked to the door. Before she left, Jennifer turned around one more time. "Enjoy your house while you can. It won't be yours much longer." After they left, I locked the door and sat down on my couch. My hands were shaking. My whole body was shaking. I looked around at my living room. The blue curtains Robert and I picked out together. The bookshelf he built with his own hands. The pictures of our wedding day hanging on the wall. How could Michael do this to me? He was my only child. I raised him by myself after Robert died. I helped him pay for college. I was there when he got married to Jennifer 3 years ago. I never liked her much, but I tried to be kind because she made my son happy. Or at least I thought she made him happy. Now I wondered if she ever loved him at all. Maybe she just saw a way to get my house. I picked up my phone to call Michael, but then I stopped. What would I say? Would he even believe me? Jennifer was probably already calling him right now, telling him I was crazy. Telling him I was too old to understand what was happening. Telling him lies. I put the phone down and walked to the kitchen. I made myself a cup of tea the way Robert used to make it for me. Strong and sweet. As I drank my tea, I tried to think clearly. What did I know for sure? Someone had signed papers pretending to be me. Jennifer and that man believed the house was sold. They wanted me gone by Friday. That gave me only 3 days to figure out what was happening. I opened my desk drawer and found the folder where I keep all my important papers. My birth certificate. Robert's death certificate. Our wedding license. And most important, the deed to my house. The paper that proves I own it. I pulled out the deed and read it carefully. My name was right there, Margaret and Thompson, owner. Nobody else's name was on it. Not Michael's. Not Jennifer's. Just mine. I smiled for the first time since they showed up at my door. They could have all the fake papers they wanted. But I had the real one. The deed was safe. The house was still mine. But that didn't solve my problem. They were still trying to steal my home. And I needed to stop them. I needed help. I thought about who I could call. My sister in Ohio. No, she was too far away. My friend Dorothy from church. Maybe. But then I remembered something. My neighbor, Mr. Chen, was a lawyer before he retired. He lived 3 houses down, and we always waved to each other when we got our mail. I had helped him once when his wife was sick. I brought them dinner every night for 2 weeks. Maybe he would help me now. I put on my nice blue dress and walked down the street to his house. Mr. Chen answered the door with a surprised smile. Margaret. What a nice surprise. Come in, come in. His house smelled like jasmine tea and old books. We sat in his living room and I told him everything. About Jennifer showing up with the man. About the papers they said I signed. About them telling me to leave my house. Mr. Chen listened without saying a word. When I finished talking, he was quiet for a long time. Then he said, Margaret, this is very serious. What they're doing is called fraud. It's against the law. They could go to jail. I felt a little bit better hearing him say that. But what can I do? Yes. I have the deed to my house, but they have papers that say I sold it. Mr. Chen stood up and walked to his bookshelf. He pulled out a big book about property law. First thing tomorrow morning, Mr. Chen said. We go to the county office. We show them your deed. We tell them someone is trying to steal your house with fake papers. They will help you. He flipped through his big book and showed me a page. See. It says right here that nobody can sell your house unless you sign the papers in front of a special person called a notary. And the notary has to check your ID to make sure it's really you. I thought about the man who came with Jennifer. That man today said he was a notary. He had papers with my name on them. Mr. Chen shook his head. Either those papers are fake or that man is a criminal. Either way, they broke the law. Don't worry, Margaret. We'll fix this. I went home feeling a little bit better. Not happy, but at least I had a plan. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Michael. My sweet boy. When did he stop being sweet? When did he decide it was okay to steal from his own mother? Or maybe Jennifer was controlling him. Maybe she was the one with a bad plan, and Michael was just going along with it because he loved her. But that didn't make it right. He was still my son. He should have protected me. Instead, he was trying to take away my home. The next morning I got up early and put on my best outfit. A pink suit that Robert always said made me look beautiful. I wanted to look strong and smart, not like a confused old lady. Mr. Chen picked me up at 8 o'clock. We drove to the big county building downtown. Inside there were lots of people waiting in lines. Mr. Chen knew exactly where to go. We walked to a desk where a young woman was typing on her computer. "Good morning," Mr. Chen said. "We need to report a property fraud case." The woman looked up. "Okay, let me get someone to help you." She made a phone call, and a few minutes later, a man in a gray suit came out. "I'm Detective Barnes," he said. "Come with me." We followed him to a small office with white walls and a big desk. Detective Barnes sat down and opened a notebook. "Tell me everything," he said. So I did. I told him about Jennifer showing up at my door. About the papers. About them telling me to leave. When I finished talking, Detective Barnes asked to see my deed. I pulled it out of my purse and handed it to him. He looked at it carefully. Then he typed something on his computer. "Mrs. Thompson," he said, "according to our records, you are still the legal owner of your house. No sale has been recorded. No transfer of ownership has happened." I felt like I could breathe again. "So the papers Jennifer showed me were fake?" Detective Barnes nodded. "Most likely. Or someone is trying to record a fake sale, and it just hasn't gone through our system yet. Either way, this is identity theft and property fraud. Both are serious crimes." He picked up his phone. "I'm going to need the names and contact information for everyone involved. And I'm going to put a freeze on your property. That means nobody can sell it or transfer it without you being there in person with your ID." Mr. Chen squeezed my hand. I gave Detective Barnes all the information I had. Jennifer's full name. Michael's name and phone number. A description of the man in the suit. Everything I could remember. "What happens now?" Yes. Detective Barnes closed his notebook. "Now we investigate. I'll contact your son and daughter-in-law. I'll ask to see their papers." After we left the county building, Mr. Chen took me out for lunch at a little restaurant by the harbor. We sat outside where we could see the ocean. The sun was warm on my face. For the first time in 2 days, I felt a little bit of peace. "You did good today, Margaret," Mr. Chen said. "You stood up for yourself." I looked out at the waves. "I'm scared though. What if Michael is angry at me? What if Jennifer finds a way to make this work? What if I really do lose my house?" Mr. Chen shook his head. "You won't lose your house. The law is on your side. And your son. If he's a good man, he'll understand that what he did was wrong. If he's not a good man, then you don't need him in your life anyway." Those words made me sad but also strong. Mr. Chen was right. I couldn't keep people in my life who wanted to hurt me, even if they were family. We finished our lunch and Mr. Chen drove me home. When I got inside, I saw that I had 5 missed calls on my phone. All from Michael. I sat down on my couch and stared at the phone. Should I call him back? What would I say? Before I could decide, my phone rang again. It was Michael. I took a deep breath and answered. "Hello, Mom." Michael's voice was loud and angry. "What did you do?" "The police just called me. They said you're accusing Jennifer and me of fraud." I stayed calm. "I didn't accuse you of anything, Michael. I just told them the truth. Jennifer came to my house with fake papers saying I sold my home. What was I supposed to do?" There was silence on the phone. Then Michael said, "Those aren't fake papers, Mom. You signed them. You gave us permission to handle your affairs." My hand tightened on the phone. "No, Michael. I never signed anything. I would never sell my house without knowing it. You know how much this place means to me." "Mom, you're confused. You're getting older. Sometimes old people forget things they did." I felt tears in my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. "I'm not confused, Michael. I remember everything clearly. And the county records show I still own my house. If you really had legal papers, my name would be off the deed by now. But it's not. So either you're lying or Jennifer lied to you too." Michael was quiet again. When he spoke, his voice was different. Softer. "Mom, Jennifer showed me the papers. She said you signed them when we visited last month. She said you wanted us to help you because you were worried about managing everything alone. I could hear the doubt in his voice. But maybe he was starting to see the truth. Michael listened to me carefully. I never signed any papers. I never gave anyone permission to sell my house. Jennifer is lying. And if you helped her, you're in big trouble with the law. I heard a voice in the background. Jennifer. She was saying something to Michael, but I couldn't hear the words. Then Michael said, "I have to go, Mom. We'll talk about this later." He hung up. I sat there holding my phone, feeling empty inside. My son didn't believe me. Or maybe he did believe me but didn't want to admit it. Either way, he chose Jennifer over his own mother. That night I couldn't eat dinner. I just sat in Robert's old chair and looked at our wedding photo on the wall. "I wish you were here," I whispered to the picture. "You'd know what to do." The next day, Detective Barnes called me. "Mrs. Thompson, I have some news. I met with your daughter-in-law and your son this morning. They showed me the papers they claim you signed." My heart started beating fast. "And the papers are definitely fake. The signature looks nothing like your real signature from the deed. Plus, there's no official notary seal. Just a stamp that anyone could buy online. And the date on the papers is wrong. Says you signed them on March 15th, but that was the day of the big storm. The county offices were closed. No real notary would have been working that day." I felt relief flood through my body. "So what happens now?" Detective Barnes continued. "I've told them that if they try to proceed with this fake sale, they'll be arrested for fraud. I've also put an official alert on your property. No one can touch it without you being present with 2 forms of ID and a witness." "Thank you," I said. "But what about Michael and Jennifer? Will they get in trouble?" There was a pause. "That depends on whether your daughter-in-law admits she created the fake papers. Right now, she's claiming she found them in your house. She says you must have signed them and forgot." I couldn't believe Jennifer was still lying. Even when caught, she wouldn't tell the truth. "That's not possible," I said. "Those papers were never in my house. I keep all my important documents in one folder, and I checked. There's nothing there except my real papers." Detective Barnes said, "I believe you, Mrs. Thompson. But proving it might take time. In the meantime, your house is safe. They can't take it from you." After I hung up, I felt angry. Really angry. Not just at Jennifer anymore. Michael too. He was letting his wife lie, and he wasn't stopping her. He wasn't protecting his mother. That afternoon, I decided to do something I hadn't done in years. I got in my car and drove to Michael's office. He worked at a bank downtown in a tall glass building. I walked right past the security guard and took the elevator to the 10th floor. Michael's secretary looked surprised when she saw me. "Mrs. Thompson, does Michael know you're here?" "No," I said. "But I need to see him now." She picked up her phone, but I was already walking to his office. I opened the door without knocking. Michael was sitting at his desk talking on the phone. When he saw me, his eyes got wide. "I'll call you back," he said quickly and hung up. "Mom, what are you doing here?" I closed the door behind me and sat down in the chair across from his desk. "We need to talk. Really talk." Without Jennifer listening. Michael looked uncomfortable. He loosened his tie and leaned back in his chair. "Okay. Talk." I looked at my son. Really looked at him. He had Robert's eyes. Robert's chin. But somewhere along the way, he had lost Robert's kindness. "When did you become someone who steals from his own mother?" Yes. Michael's face turned red. "I'm not stealing anything. We were trying to help you." "Help me," I said loudly. "By kicking me out of my house. By forging my signature. By lying to the police." "We didn't forge anything," Michael said. But his voice wasn't sure. "Jennifer said you signed those papers. She said you asked for our help." I leaned forward. "Michael, look at me. Look into my eyes. Do I look confused to you? Do I look like someone who can't remember things?" Michael looked away. He couldn't meet my eyes. That's when I knew for sure. He knew. Maybe he didn't know at first, but he knew now. He knew Jennifer had lied. He knew those papers were fake. But he didn't want to admit it because that would mean his wife was a criminal. "Mom," he said quietly. "The house is worth a lot of money now. $20 million, maybe more. Jennifer and we have debts. Big debts. The kind that don't go away." I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. "So you were going to sell my house to pay your debts? Without even asking me? We thought you wouldn't mind." "You're old, Mom. How much longer are you going to live in that big house anyway? We thought we could sell it, give you some of the money to live somewhere smaller, and use the rest to fix our problems." I stood up. My legs were shaking, but I stood up anyway. "Let me make something very clear, Michael. That house is mine, not yours, not Jennifer's. I'm not old and useless. I'm only 68 years old. I could live another 20 years. And I'm going to live them in my house. The house your father and I built together." Michael put his head in his hands. "Jennifer said this would be easy. She said you'd understand." "Jennifer lied to you," I said. "She's been lying to everyone. And now you're both going to face the consequences." I turned to leave, but Michael called out, "Mom, wait. Please. We can fix this. We'll tell the police it was all a misunderstanding. We'll tear up the papers. Just don't press charges. Please." I stopped at the door and looked back at him. "You should have thought about that before you tried to steal my home." I left his office and didn't look back. On the drive home I cried. Not because I was sad. Because I was mourning. Mourning the son I thought I had. The good boy who used to help me plant flowers in the garden. The teenager who used to read to his father when Robert was too sick to read by himself. That Michael was gone. This new Michael, the one who chose money over his mother. I didn't know him at all. When I got home, there was a car parked in my driveway. Fancy red car. Jennifer's car. My heart started pounding. What was she doing here? I parked on the street and walked carefully to my front door. Before I could put my key in the lock, the door opened. Jennifer stood there with a big smile on her face. "Margaret, I'm so glad you're home. We need to talk." I didn't move. "How did you get in my house?" Her smile got bigger. "Michael gave me his key. The one you gave him for emergencies. This is an emergency, don't you think?" She stepped aside to let me in. Into my own house. I walked past her and saw that she had made herself comfortable. There was a cup of coffee on my kitchen table. My mail was opened and spread out. "What are you doing?" I asked. Jennifer sat down and crossed her legs. "I'm trying to help you see reason, Margaret. This whole situation has gotten out of control. Police. The lawyers. It's all so messy. We can fix this right now if you just cooperate." "Cooperate?" said. "You mean if I give you my house?" She laughed. A light, tinkling laugh like breaking glass. "Don't be dramatic. We're not asking you to give us anything. We just want to help you sell the house while the market is good. Think about it, Margaret. $20 million. I sat down across from her. "Jennifer, let me ask you something. When did you decide to steal from me? Was it when you married Michael? Or before that?" Her smile faded a little. "I don't know what you mean." "Yes, you do. You never loved Michael. You loved what you thought he would inherit. My house, my money, everything Robert and I worked our whole lives to build." Jennifer's eyes went cold. "You think you're so smart, don't you? The perfect wife. The perfect mother. But you're just a bitter old woman living in the past." "Maybe," I said. "But I'm a bitter old woman who still owns her house. And you're a thief who's about to go to jail." Jennifer stood up so fast her chair fell over. "You can't prove anything. Those papers are legal. You're just confused because you're old." I pulled out my phone and held it up. "I've been recording this whole conversation. Every word. Including the part where you admitted Michael gave you a key without my permission. That's called breaking and entering." Jennifer's face went white. She looked at my phone, then at me, then back at my phone. "You're bluffing." I tapped the screen and her voice came out of the phone. "We just want to help you sell the house while the market is good." Jennifer's mouth opened but no sound came out. Get out of my house, I said quietly. And give me that key. She reached into her purse with shaking hands and threw the key on the table. This isn't over, she said. Michael will never forgive you for this. Michael will have to live with his choices, I said. Just like you'll have to live with yours. Now get out before I call the police. Jennifer grabbed her purse and ran to the door. She slammed it so hard a picture fell off the wall. Picked up the picture. It was from Michael's graduation day. He looked so happy and proud. I hung it back up and then I called Detective Barnes. I have more evidence, I said. The next few weeks were hard. Really hard. Detective Barnes came to my house and took my phone. He said the recording was very important evidence. He also said that Jennifer and Michael were both going to be charged with attempted fraud. Michael called me every day. Sometimes he cried. Sometimes he yelled. Mom, please, he said one night. Jennifer didn't mean it. She just got desperate. We owe so much money. The credit cards. The loans. We're drowning. I felt sad for him, but I couldn't help. Michael, you chose this path. You chose to try to steal from me instead of asking me for help. You chose Jennifer's lies over your mother's trust. But I'm your son. You have to help me. Closed my eyes. You stopped being my son when you tried to take my home. I'm sorry, Michael. But you did this to yourself. He hung up. That was the last time we talked. The court date came faster than I expected. I had to go to the courthouse and tell a judge everything that happened. Jennifer was there with her lawyer. Michael was there too, but he sat far away from both of us. The judge was a woman with gray hair and kind eyes. She listened to everything. She looked at the fake papers. She listened to the recording I made of Jennifer. She looked at my deed. Then she made her decision. Mrs. Thompson, the judge said, you are clearly the legal owner of your property. The papers presented by Mrs. Jennifer Thompson are fraudulent. The signature is forged. The notary seal is fake. Jennifer started to cry. Big loud sobs. But the judge wasn't finished. Mrs. Jennifer Thompson, you are hereby charged with identity theft, fraud, and attempted property theft. These are serious crimes. You could go to prison for up to 10 years. Jennifer's lawyer stood up and said something about how Jennifer was sorry and it was all a mistake. But the judge shook her head. This was not a mistake. This was a planned crime. Mrs. Thompson could have lost her home because of your client's actions. The judge looked at Michael. Mr. Michael Thompson, you are charged with being an accessory to fraud. While you didn't create the fake papers, you knew about them and you helped your wife try to carry out this crime. Michael put his head in his hands. I didn't know the papers were fake, he said. I thought my mom really signed them. The judge looked at him for a long time. You should have made sure before you tried to take your mother's house. Ignorance is not an excuse. In the end, Jennifer got 3 years in prison. Michael got 2 years of probation and had to do community service. The judge also ordered them to pay me back for all the lawyer fees and court costs. When it was all over, I walked out of the courthouse into the sunshine. Mr. Chen was waiting for me. How do you feel? He asked. Thought about it. Empty, I said. I won my house, but I lost my son. Mr. Chen put his hand on my shoulder. You didn't lose your son, Margaret. Your son lost himself. There's a difference. We went back to his house and his wife made us tea. We sat in their garden and didn't talk. Sometimes silence is better than words. That night, I went home and walked through every room of my house. The living room where Robert proposed to me. The kitchen where we cooked Sunday dinners. The bedroom where we spent 40 years sleeping side by side. The garden where we planted roses and tomatoes and dreams. This house was more than wood and nails. It was my life, my memories, my heart, and I had fought for it. I had been brave when I needed to be. I had stood up to people who wanted to hurt me, even when those people were my own family. I sat on the porch and watched the sun set over the ocean. The sky turned pink and orange and purple. Tomorrow would be a new day. The first thing I did the next morning was change all my locks. Not just the front door but the back door too. And the side door that led to the garden. I called a locksmith and he came right away. "You want good strong locks," he said. "The kind that can't be picked easily." He nodded. "The strongest you have." He installed new locks on every door. Big heavy locks with shiny new keys. When he was done, I had 3 keys. One for me. One for Mr. Chen in case of emergencies. And one that I put in a safe place, hidden where no one would ever find it. After the locksmith left, I walked through my house again. Felt different now. Safer. Like it was really mine again. I went to the kitchen and made myself breakfast. Scrambled eggs and toast, the way Robert used to make them. I sat at the table and ate slowly, enjoying every bite. My phone rang. It was my sister calling from Ohio. "Margaret, I heard what happened. Are you okay?" Smiled. "I'm fine, Betty. Everything worked out. I can't believe Michael would do such a thing. His own mother." Betty was angry, but I wasn't anymore. I was just tired. "People do strange things when they're desperate," I said. "Michael made bad choices. Now he has to live with them." Betty was quiet for a moment. "Do you want to come stay with me for a while? Get away from everything." I looked around my kitchen. At the blue curtains. At Robert's favorite coffee mug still sitting on the shelf. "No," I said. "I'm staying right here. This is my home. I'm not leaving." After I hung up with Betty, I decided to do something I hadn't done in a long time. I went to the beach. My house was right on the ocean, but I hadn't walked on the sand in months. I took off my shoes and walked down to the water. The sand was warm under my feet. The waves were gentle. I walked along the shore and thought about everything that had happened. In a way, Jennifer had done me a favor. She showed me that I was stronger than I thought. She showed me that I could fight for what mattered. She showed me that being old doesn't mean being weak. I picked up a shell and put it in my pocket. Then I walked back to my house. My house. Nobody could take it from me now. Over the next few weeks, I started to feel like myself again. I worked in my garden every morning. I had coffee with Mr. Chen and his wife every afternoon. I joined a book club at the library. I even started painting again, something I used to love before Robert got sick. One day, I was painting in the garden when someone knocked on my gate. It was a young woman with a camera. "Excuse me," she said. "Are you Mrs. Thompson?" Put down my brush. "Yes." "Who are you?" She smiled. "My name is Sarah. I'm a reporter for the local newspaper. I heard about what happened to you. About how you fought off people trying to steal your house. I'd like to write a story about it." I wasn't sure at first. I didn't want to be famous. But then I thought about all the other old people who might be in danger. People whose families might try to take advantage of them. "Okay," I said. "Come in." We sat on my porch and I told her everything. About Jennifer showing up with fake papers. About Michael betraying me. About going to the police and to court. About fighting to keep my home. Sarah took notes and pictures. When the story came out in the newspaper, I was surprised by what happened next. People started calling me. Other elderly people who said their families were trying to take their houses, their money, their belongings. "What should I do?" they asked. "How do I protect myself?" I started giving advice. Call a lawyer. Go to the police. Keep your important papers in a safe place. Don't sign anything unless you read it carefully first. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Soon I was getting calls every day. So many that I couldn't answer them all. That's when I had an idea. I called Mr. Chen. "What if we started a group?" said. "A support group for seniors who are dealing with family fraud?" Mr. Chen loved the idea. We put up flyers at the library and the community center. We rented a room at the church for meetings. The first meeting only 5 people came. But the next week 10 people showed up. Then 20. Then 30. We called our group Protect Our Future. We helped people understand their rights. We connected them with lawyers. We taught them how to recognize fraud. We gave them courage to stand up to family members who were trying to hurt them. One woman, Mrs. Garcia, came to the group crying. Her grandson had stolen her credit cards and bought a new car. "I don't want to call the police," she said. "He's my grandson. I love him." I held her hand. "I understand. I love my son too. But love doesn't mean letting people hurt you. You can love someone and still protect yourself from them." Mrs. Garcia called the police that night. Her grandson had to return the car and pay her back. He was angry at first, but later he apologized. He said he had a gambling problem and needed help. Because Mrs. Garcia stood up to him, he got the help he needed. Stories like that made me feel good. Made me feel like something good had come from my pain. Meanwhile, I kept living my life. I planted new roses in the garden. I painted pictures of the ocean. I read books and had tea with friends. I was happy. Really happy. For the first time in years, maybe since Robert died, I felt like myself again. One afternoon, about 6 months after the court case, my doorbell rang. I looked through the window and saw Michael standing there. My heart started beating fast. What did he want? I opened the door but didn't invite him in. "Hello, Michael." He looked terrible. Tired. His clothes were wrinkled. "Hi, Mom. Can we talk?" I crossed my arms. "About what?" "About everything. About what I did. About how sorry I am." I looked at my son. Part of me wanted to hug him. Part of me wanted to slam the door in his face. "Are you really sorry?" "Yes. Or are you just sorry you got caught?" Michael's eyes filled with tears. "I'm really sorry, Mom. I was stupid. I was desperate. Jennifer kept saying it would be okay, that you wouldn't mind, that we needed the money. And I believed her because I wanted to believe her." "What about Jennifer?" "Yes. Where is she?" "In prison. She has 2 more years to go. I divorced her." I wasn't surprised. "Come in," I said. We sat in the living room, in the same chairs where we used to sit when he was young and came to visit. "Mom," Michael said, "I know I can never make up for what I did. I know I hurt you in a way that can't be fixed. But I want you to know that I'm trying to be better." I listened as Michael told me about his life. About how he lost his job at the bank because of the court case. About how he was working at a grocery store now, bagging groceries. About how he was going to therapy to understand why he made such bad choices. "I'm paying off my debts slowly," he said. "It's going to take years, but I'm doing it the right way now. No shortcuts. No stealing from people." He nodded. "That's good, Michael. I'm glad you're taking responsibility." We sat in silence for a while. Then Michael said, "Do you think you could ever forgive me?" Thought about it. Really thought about it. "I don't know," I said honestly. "What you did really hurt me. You tried to take away the home I built with your father. The place where all my memories live. That's not something I can just forget." "I understand," Michael said. His voice was very quiet. "But maybe someday." "Maybe," I said. "Time will tell." Michael stood up to leave. At the door he turned around. "I love you, Mom. I know I have a terrible way of showing it, but I do love you." I looked at my son. My only child. The baby I brought into this world. "I love you too, Michael," I said. "But love isn't enough. You also have to have respect. And trust. And honesty. You took all of those things from me. If you want them back, you'll have to earn them." Michael nodded. "I'll try. For however long it takes, I'll try." After he left, I sat on my porch and watched the sunset. I thought about forgiveness. About how hard it is to forgive someone who hurt you so deeply. But I also thought about hate. About how hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I didn't want to hate my son. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life being angry. But I also didn't want to pretend everything was okay when it wasn't. So I made a decision. I would let Michael prove himself. If he really changed, if he really became a better person, then maybe someday we could have a relationship again. But it would take time. A lot of time. And he would have to do the work. I couldn't do it for him. That night, I slept better than I had in months. The house was quiet and peaceful. The moon shone through my bedroom window. And for the first time since everything happened, I felt truly safe. Life went back to normal, or at least a new kind of normal. Every Tuesday, I led the Protect Our Future meetings. Every Thursday, I had coffee with Mr. Chen and his wife. Every weekend, I worked in my garden. Michael called me once a month. We didn't talk for long, just a few minutes. He would tell me about his job and his therapy. I would tell him about my garden and my support group. It wasn't much, but it was something. One day, about a year after the court case, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Jennifer. She was still in prison. The letter said she was sorry for everything she did. She said she had been greedy and selfish. She said she hoped I could forgive her someday. I read the letter 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer. I wasn't ready to forgive Jennifer. Maybe I never would be. But I also didn't want to waste energy hating her. She was in prison. She was paying for her crimes. That was enough. I went out to my garden and planted some new flowers. Purple petals that would bloom in the spring. As I dug in the dirt, I thought about how life is like a garden. Sometimes weeds grow. Sometimes storms come and knock everything down. But if you keep working, if you keep planting and watering and caring, beautiful things will grow. My life had been hit by a storm. Michael and Jennifer had been like weeds, trying to choke out everything good. But I had fought back. I had pulled out the weeds. And now new things were growing. The support group was growing. More and more people were coming to meetings. We were helping dozens of seniors protect themselves from fraud. Mr. Chen and I even wrote a guidebook. We called it Protecting Yourself and Your Assets. We gave it away for free to anyone who wanted it. The local senior center started using it in their classes. The newspaper did another story about us. This time it was a whole page, with pictures of our meetings and quotes from people we had helped. I kept the newspaper article on my refrigerator. Not because I wanted to be proud of myself, but because I wanted to remember. Remember that good things can come from bad situations. Remember that it's never too late to stand up for yourself. Remember that being kind doesn't mean being weak. 2 years after the court case, Michael came to visit again. But this time was different. He looked healthier. His clothes were clean and neat. His eyes were clear. "Hi, Mom," he said when I opened the door. "Hi, Michael. Come in." We sat in the living room with tea. Michael told me that he had finished paying off all his debts. Every single one. "It took 2 years of working 2 jobs," he said. "But I did it. I'm completely debt-free now." I was impressed. "That's wonderful, Michael. I'm proud of you." He smiled. A real smile, not the fake one he used to give me. "I also want to give you this," he said, handing me an envelope. Inside was a check. For $50,000. "What's this?" I asked. "It's for all the lawyer fees and court costs you had to pay because of me. I've been saving up. It's taken me a long time, but I wanted to pay you back." I looked at the check. $50,000. That was a lot of money. "Michael, you didn't have to do this." "Yes, I did," he said. "You taught me that when you make a mistake, you fix it. You make it right." I put the check on the table. "Thank you, Michael. This means a lot." We talked for a while longer. Michael told me he had gone back to school and was studying to be a financial counselor. "I want to help people who are in debt," he said. "People like I was. So they don't make the same mistakes I did." It was strange. The thing that almost destroyed my son had become his purpose. He had taken his biggest failure and turned it into something good. Before Michael left, I walked him to the door. "Michael," I said, "I want you to know something. I forgive you." He stopped walking and turned to look at me. Tears filled his eyes. "Really? Really?" I said. "You've worked hard to make things right. You've changed. Can see it. And I think your father would be proud of the man you're becoming." Michael hugged me. A real hug, tight and warm. The kind of hug I hadn't felt from him in years. "Thank you, Mom," he whispered. "Thank you for not giving up on me." After Michael left, I took the check to the bank. But instead of putting it in my account, I donated it to the Protect Our Future program. We used the money to hire a lawyer who could help seniors for free. Someone who could give them legal advice without them having to pay. We named the program the Robert Thompson Legal Aid Fund, after my late husband. Felt right. Something good was coming from something bad. The circle was complete. Now, when I look back on everything that happened, I don't feel angry anymore. I don't feel sad. Feel grateful. Grateful that I was strong enough to fight. Grateful for friends like Mr. Chen who helped me. Grateful that Michael found his way back to being a good person. And grateful that my home, this beautiful house that Robert and I built together, is still mine. I'm 70 years old now. My hair is gray and my hands shake sometimes when I hold my tea. But I'm not weak. I'm not confused. I'm not someone who can be pushed around. I'm Margaret Thompson. I'm a survivor. I'm a fighter. And I'm living in my house, surrounded by my memories, helping other people stay strong. Every morning, I wake up in the bedroom I shared with Robert. I make my tea in the kitchen where we cook together. I work in the garden where we planted dreams. And I'm happy. Really, truly happy. The doorbell doesn't scare me anymore. When someone knocks, I don't wonder if they're coming to take something from me. I open the door with confidence. Sometimes it's Mr. Chen, bringing me soup his wife made. Sometimes it's someone from the support group asking for advice. Sometimes it's Michael, coming to visit and tell me about his life. And sometimes it's just the mailman delivering letters. Regular, normal letters. Nothing scary. Nothing fake. Just life going on the way it should. My house is filled with light now. I opened all the curtains that I had closed when I was scared. Sunshine fills every room. The ocean breeze blows through the windows. Birds sing in the garden. This is peace. This is safety. This is home. And nobody, not Jennifer, not even my own son, could take it from me. 'Cause I stood up. Fought back. I protected what was mine. And I won. Not just the court case but something bigger. I won back my power. My dignity. My right to live my life the way I choose. If you're reading this or listening to this story, and you're going through something similar, I want you to know something important. You are not alone. There are people who will try to take advantage of you, especially as you get older. They might be strangers. They might be people you trust. They might even be family. But you have power. You have rights. You have the law on your side. Don't let anyone make you feel weak or confused. Don't let anyone tell you that you're too old to understand what's happening. You know yourself better than anyone else does. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Get help. Talk to a lawyer. Talk to the police. Talk to friends you trust. Don't try to handle everything alone. I thought I had to fight Jennifer and Michael by myself at first. But then I found Mr. Chen. I found Detective Barnes. I found people who cared and wanted to help. And together we won. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be scared. But don't give up. Don't let fear make you weak. Stand up. Fight back. Protect what's yours. You deserve to live your life with dignity and respect. You deserve to be safe in your own home. You deserve to have people around you who love you and treat you right. And if someone tries to take that away from you, show them what you're made of. Show them that age is just a number. Show them that being kind doesn't mean being stupid. Show them that you're a survivor, a fighter, someone who won't go down without a battle. I did it. And you can too. The support group meets every week now. We have over 100 members. Men and women, all over 60. All with stories of family members or strangers trying to steal from them. Some of them won their battles like I did. Some of them are still fighting. But none of them are fighting alone. We help each other. We share advice. We share lawyers. We share courage. And slowly we're making a difference. The local newspaper calls us the Grey Panthers. They did a big article about how we're fighting elder abuse and fraud. The article got picked up by other newspapers, then by TV news. Soon people from all over the country were calling us, asking how to start their own support groups. Mr. Chen and I wrote a handbook, step-by-step instructions on how to create a Protect Our Future group in your town. We sent it to anyone who asked. Now there are chapters in 15 states. Hundreds of seniors, all working together to protect themselves and each other. It's amazing what you can do when you turn your pain into purpose. I could have spent the rest of my life being angry at Michael and Jennifer. I could have become bitter and mean. Instead, I chose to help others. And in helping them, I helped myself heal. Michael and I have a relationship again now. It's not the same as it was before. Never will be. But it's good. He comes to dinner once a month. We sit at the kitchen table and eat and talk. He tells me about the people he's helping with their debt problems. I tell him about the seniors I'm helping protect from fraud. Sometimes we talk about Robert. About the good times when we were a family. Sometimes we cry together. Sometimes we laugh. And slowly, we're rebuilding what was broken. I don't know if I'll ever fully trust Michael again. Some things, once broken, can't be put back together exactly as they were. But we're trying. And that's something. As for Jennifer, she got out of prison last year. I heard she moved to another state. Started a new life. I hope she learned her lesson. I hope she never hurts anyone else the way she hurt me. But that's not my responsibility anymore. She's not part of my life. I've let her go. Not because I forgive her, but because holding on to hate was hurting me more than it was hurting her. Today is Tuesday. Support group day. I put on my favorite blue dress and drive to the church where we meet. When I walk in, the room is full. 30 people, maybe more. All ages. All races. All with the same problem. Someone is trying to take advantage of them. A woman I don't recognize stands up. "Are you Mrs. Thompson?" she asks. "Yes," I say. She starts crying. "Thank you. Thank you for starting this group. My son was trying to put me in a nursing home and sell my house. I didn't know what to do. But then I found your group. You helped me understand my rights. You helped me find a lawyer. And now my house is safe. I get to stay in my home." Other people start clapping. I feel tears in my own eyes. This is why I fought. Not just for my house. For everyone's house. For everyone's right to live with dignity. We start the meeting. People share their stories. Some are heartbreaking. Some are inspiring. All of them matter. At the end of the meeting, we hold hands in a circle. "We are strong," we say together. "We are brave. We will not be victims. We will fight for what's right." Then everyone goes home. Back to their houses, their apartments, their lives. And I go home too. My house. The house I fought for and won. I make dinner. Just for one, but that's okay. I'm not lonely. I have friends. Have purpose. Have peace. After dinner, I sit on the porch and watch the sun set over the ocean. The sky turns pink and gold and purple. Beautiful. Perfect. This is my life now. Happy. And I earned it. Not by being lucky. Not by being rich. But by being strong. By refusing to give up. By fighting for what was mine. The stars come out. The moon rises. The waves keep rolling onto the shore, like they've been doing for millions of years. And I sit here in my rocking chair on my porch at my house. Home. Where I belong. Where I'll stay for as long as I live. 'Cause this is mine. My memories. My peace. My victory. And nobody can ever take it away from me again. I learned something important through all of this. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes the people who love you most aren't related to you at all. Mr. Chan and his wife aren't my family by blood. But they've been more family to me than my own son was during that terrible time. The people in my support group aren't my family by blood. But we take care of each other like family should. Real family doesn't hurt you. Real family doesn't steal from you. Real family protects you and loves you and stands by you when things get hard. I had to learn to create my own family. To choose people who treat me with respect. And now I have a family bigger than I ever imagined. Family of fighters. Of survivors. Of people who refuse to be victims. That's worth more than any amount of money. More than any house, even this one. The connections we make, the people we help, the love we share. That's what matters in the end. Robert knew that. He spent his whole life helping other people. Building things for neighbors. Fixing cars for friends who couldn't afford a mechanic. He never had much money, but he was rich in the ways that count. I try to live like he did. Helping others. Being kind. Standing up for what's right. And when I do that, I feel him with me. In the garden he planted. in the house he built, in the values he taught me. He's been gone for 5 years, but he's not really gone. He lives on in me. In the way I treat people. In the way I fight for justice. In the way I refuse to give up. I think he would be proud of me. Proud that I stood up to Jennifer and Michael. Proud that I protected our home. Proud that I turned something bad into something good. Least I hope he would be. Sometimes I talk to him. Out loud when I'm alone. I tell him about my day. About the people I helped. About Michael and how he's changed. I like to think he can hear me. That wherever he is, he's listening. And smiling. Tonight I'll sleep well. In the bed Robert and I shared for 40 years. In the room where we laughed and cried and dreamed together. In the house that we built with our own hands and our own love. My house. My home. My victory. And tomorrow, I'll wake up and do it all again. Help more people. Plant more flowers. Live more life. 'Cause that's what survivors do. We keep going. We keep fighting. We keep living. 3 years have passed since that awful morning when Jennifer showed up at my door with her fake papers. 3 years of healing and growing and learning. I'm 71 now. My hands are a little more wrinkled. My steps are a little slower. But my spirit is stronger than ever. Last week something wonderful happened. A woman came to the support group and said, "Mrs. Thompson, because of you, I saved my house. My daughter was trying to trick me into signing it over to her. But I remembered what you taught us. I went to a lawyer. I protected myself. And now my daughter is getting help for her drug problem. We're rebuilding our relationship, but I still have my home." Stories like that make everything worth it. Every hard moment, every tear, every fight. If I had given up when Jennifer first came with those papers, where would I be now? Probably in some nursing home, sad and alone. But instead I'm here, in my house, running a support group that helps hundreds of people. Living a life I'm proud of. That's the power of saying no. Of standing up for yourself. Of refusing to be a victim. Michael is doing well. He finished school and now has his own office. He helps people manage their money and get out of debt. He's good at it. Really good. Sometimes his clients are people I meet through the support group. Seniors who need help understanding their finances. I send them to Michael and he helps them for free. It's his way of giving back. Of making up for what he did. Last month, on what would have been Robert's birthday, Michael came over. We went to the cemetery together and put flowers on Robert's grave. "I'm sorry, Dad," Michael said, touching the headstone. "I'm sorry I let you down. But I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be the man you raised me to be." I put my hand on Michael's shoulder. "He forgives you," I said. "And so do I." We stood there for a long time, the three of us. Father, mother, and son. Together again, in a way. Then we went home and had dinner. Michael made Robert's favorite meal. Pot roast with carrots and potatoes. It wasn't as good as Robert's, but it was good enough. After dinner, Michael pulled out an old photo album. Pictures from when he was little. Birthday parties. Christmas mornings. Family vacations. We looked through the album together, laughing at the memories. "Remember when we went to Disney World?" Michael asked. "You and Dad saved for 2 years to take me. I was so excited I couldn't sleep for a week." "I remember," I said. "Your father wore that silly Mickey Mouse hat the whole trip." "He loved that hat," Michael said, smiling. "He wore it until it fell apart." We kept turning pages. More memories. More laughter. More love. This is what family should be, I thought. Not perfect but trying. Not without mistakes but willing to fix them. Not fake smiles and hidden plans but real connection. Real love. When Michael left that night he hugged me tight. "I love you, Mom. Thank you for giving me another chance." "I love you too," I said. "And I'm proud of you. Really proud." After he drove away, I sat on the porch and thought about forgiveness. It's not easy. Doesn't happen all at once. But it's possible. If someone really changes, if they really work to make things right, forgiveness can grow. Like a flower in the garden. Low, steady, beautiful. I've forgiven Michael. Not because what he did was okay. It wasn't okay. It was terrible. But because he spent 3 years proving he's changed. 3 years of hard work and therapy and making amends. That deserves forgiveness. As for Jennifer, I haven't forgiven her. Maybe someday I will. Maybe not. But I've let go of the hate. She can't hurt me anymore. She's in another state, living another life. And I'm here living mine. That's enough. The support group keeps growing. We now have chapters in 23 states. Thousands of seniors, all protecting themselves and each other. We've saved hundreds of houses, stopped dozens of fraud cases, helped countless people stand up to family members who were taking advantage of them. We've even started working with lawmakers, trying to pass laws that make it harder for people to steal from their elderly relatives. Laws that require more proof before someone can sell a house that belongs to someone else. Laws that protect people like me. Slow work. Government moves slowly. But we're making progress. And every small victory matters. Last month, we got a new law passed in our state. Now, if someone tries to sell a house that belongs to an elderly person, that person has to appear in court and confirm the sale in front of a judge. It's a simple law, but it will protect so many people. If that law had been in place 3 years ago, Jennifer never could have gotten as far as she did. The judge would have stopped her immediately. But at least it's in place now. At least future seniors will be safer. I've also started speaking at schools, high schools and colleges, teaching young people about elder abuse, teaching them to treat their grandparents and parents with respect. To never take advantage of someone just because they're old. The students always have questions. What if my grandma really can't take care of herself? They ask. What if she needs help? Then you help her, I say. You don't steal from her. You talk to her. You work together to find solutions. You treat her with dignity and respect. Most of the students understand. They promise to always treat their elderly relatives with kindness. I hope they keep that promise. I hope they grow up to be better than Jennifer and Michael were. Better than people who see their parents and grandparents as obstacles or bank accounts. I hope they see them as people. As human beings who deserve love and respect, no matter how old they are. Today is a special day. It's been exactly 4 years since Jennifer showed up at my door. 4 years since this whole nightmare started. To celebrate, I'm having a party. A big party here at my house. I've invited everyone from the support group. Mr. Chen and his wife. Detective Barnes. My lawyer Paul. Even the reporter Sarah, who wrote the first story about me. And Michael. He's coming too. The house is decorated with balloons and flowers. I made Robert's famous chocolate cake. Everyone's favorite. People start arriving at noon. They bring food and gifts and hugs. So many hugs. The house fills with laughter and conversation. For the first time in years, my home feels truly alive. Mr. Chen gives a speech. 4 years ago, Margaret faced the fight of her life. She could have given up. She could have accepted defeat. But she didn't. She stood up. She fought back. And she won. More than that, she turned her victory into a mission. She's helped hundreds of people protect themselves. She's changed laws. She's changed lives. Margaret, you're a hero. Everyone claps. I feel my face turn red. I'm not a hero. I'm just a woman who refused to give up. But it's nice to hear anyway. Then Michael stands up. I want to say something, he says. The room gets quiet. Everyone knows what Michael did. Everyone knows he's the reason this party exists. 4 years ago, I made the worst mistake of my life. Michael begins. I tried to steal my mother's house. I betrayed her trust. I hurt her in ways I can never fully repair. He looks at me. Tears are in his eyes. But my mother did something incredible. She didn't just fight back. She forgave me. She gave me a chance to become better. And because of her, I am better. I've spent 4 years learning and growing and trying to make up for what I did. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of her forgiveness. Michael walks over to me and hands me a small box. What's this? I ask. Open it, he says. Inside the box is a key. A brass key on a simple chain. What's this for? Ask. Michael smiles. It's a copy of my house key. I want you to have it. So you always know you're welcome in my home. So you always know you have a place to go if you need one. So you know that my door is always open to you. Just like you kept your door open to me. I start crying. Can't help it. This small gesture means everything. Michael pulls me into a hug. Thank you, Mom. For everything. The party continues. People eat and laugh and tell stories. The sun sets over the ocean, painting the sky in beautiful colors. I stand on my porch looking out at all these people. My people. My family. Not by blood but by choice. By shared struggle. By love. This is what winning looks like. Not money. Not revenge. But this. Community. Connection. Love. Purpose. Is. As the last guests leave, Mr. Chen stops at the door. You've built something beautiful here, Margaret. Not just the house but the life. The legacy. Robert and I built the house, I say. But you're right about the life. That took work. That took fighting. That took refusing to give up. Mr. Chen nods. And now look at what you have. Look at how many people you've helped. Look at the difference you've made. After everyone leaves, I walk through my house one more time. I turn off the lights room by room. In each room I pause and remember. The living room where I confronted Jennifer. The kitchen where I planned my defense. The bedroom where I cried and worried and prayed. This house has seen everything. My love with Robert. My pain when he died. My fear when Jennifer attacked. My strength when I fought back. My joy now as I live in peace. These walls hold all of it. Every emotion. Every memory. Every moment. And I'm so grateful. Grateful that I get to stay here. Grateful that I fought and won. Grateful for every single day I get to live in this beautiful place. I go to bed that night feeling full. Full of love. Full of gratitude. Full of peace. Tomorrow I'll wake up and do it all again. Help more people. Live more life. Enjoy more sunsets. But tonight I'm just going to rest. In my house. My home. My victory. The next morning I wake up to the sound of waves. I get out of bed and open the curtains. Sunshine floods the room. Another beautiful day. Another day in my house. Another day of freedom and peace and safety. I make my coffee and sit on the porch. The ocean stretches out before me, endless and beautiful. I think about everything I've been through. Pain. The fear. The fight. The victory. And I realize something important. I wouldn't change any of it. Yes, it was hard. Yes, it hurt. But it made me who I am today. Stronger. Braver. More sure of myself. More willing to help others. If Jennifer had never showed up with those fake papers, I would have just kept living my quiet life. I would have been fine. But I wouldn't have started the support group. I wouldn't have helped all those people. I wouldn't have made such a difference. So in a strange way, Jennifer did me a favor. She woke something up inside me. Something fierce and strong. Something that had been sleeping since Robert died. She reminded me that I'm not just a grieving widow. I'm Margaret Thompson. I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor. I'm someone who doesn't give up. And that's worth more than anything. As I sit there sipping my coffee, a young woman walks up to my gate. She looks nervous. "Excuse me," she says. "Are you Mrs. Thompson?" "Yes," I say. "Can I help you?" She starts crying. "I hope so. My family is trying to take my grandmother's house. She doesn't know what to do. Someone told me you might be able to help." I stand up and walk to the gate. Open it wide. "Come in," I say. "Let's talk." She follows me to the porch. I make her a cup of tea. And I listen to her story. It's different from mine but also the same. Someone she loves is being hurt by someone else she loves. And she doesn't know how to stop it. I tell her about the support group. About lawyers who can help. About how to protect her grandmother's property. I tell her about my story. About how I fought and won. Your grandmother can win too, I say. But she has to be willing to fight. She has to be willing to stand up for herself. The young woman wipes her tears. I'll tell her everything you said. Thank you so much. After she leaves, I sit back down on the porch. This is my life now. Helping people. One person at a time. One house at a time. One victory at a time. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. But it matters. Makes a difference. And that's all I need. The days turn into weeks. The weeks turn into months. Life goes on. Keep running the support group. Keep helping people. I keep living in my house, grateful for every sunrise and every sunset. Michael visits regularly now. Once a week, sometimes twice. We've rebuilt our relationship slowly, carefully. Like planting a garden after a storm destroyed the old one. It's different now, but it's growing. And that's good enough. One day, Michael brings someone with him. A woman I've never met. Mom, he says. This is Sarah. We've been dating for a few months. I wanted you to meet her. Sarah smiles at me. A genuine smile, not fake like Jennifer's was. It's so nice to meet you, Mrs. Thompson. Michael talks about you all the time. We have dinner together. Sarah is kind and smart. She's a teacher at an elementary school. She loves children and books and gardening. She asks me about my roses, about my support group, about my life. She listens to my answers like they really matter. Like her. After they leave, I call Michael. She's wonderful, I say. I'm happy for you. Thanks, Mom. She's nothing like. Well, she's nothing like before. I know what he means. She's nothing like Jennifer. Is real. Honest. But that's all I want for you, I say. Someone who treats you well. Someone who makes you happy. She does, Michael says. And Mom, I'm going to be careful this time. I'm not rushing into anything. I'm going to make sure it's right. Good, I say. That's smart. A year later, Michael and Sarah get married. It's a small wedding in my garden. Just family and close friends. About 30 people. I wear my best dress, the purple one with flowers on it. I cry during the ceremony. Happy tears this time. Tears of joy and relief and hope. This is what a wedding should be. Two people who love each other. Two people who treat each other with respect. Two people who build each other up instead of tearing each other down. After the ceremony, we have cake and dancing in the garden. Michael dances with Sarah. Then he asks me to dance. We sway slowly to an old song. One Robert and I used to dance to. Thank you, Mom, Michael says. For giving me another chance. For showing me what real love looks like. You're welcome, I say. I'm proud of you, Michael. Really proud. He hugs me tight. And I know in that moment that we're going to be okay. Our relationship isn't perfect. Never will be. But it's real. It's honest. It's built on forgiveness and hard work and love. And that's enough. The seasons change. Spring turns to summer. Summer turns to fall. Fall turns to winter. And winter turns to spring again. I'm 73 now. My hair is completely gray. My face has more wrinkles. My body moves slower. But my mind is still sharp. My spirit is still strong. The support group is bigger than ever. We have chapters in all 50 states now. Tens of thousands of members. We've helped save thousands of houses. We've stopped countless frauds. We've changed laws in 37 states. We've made a real difference. Last month I got a letter from the president. A real letter, on fancy paper with an official seal. It said I was being honored for my work protecting seniors from fraud. There was going to be a ceremony in Washington, D.C. I couldn't believe it. Me, little old Margaret Thompson from Palm Beach, getting honored by the president. Mr. Chen and his wife came with me to Washington. So did Michael and Sarah. We flew on an airplane and stayed in a fancy hotel. The ceremony was in a big room with hundreds of people. Important people. Senators and congressmen and other people who had made a difference. When they called my name, I walked up to the stage. My legs were shaking, but I walked straight and proud. The president shook my hand and gave me a medal. Mrs. Thompson, the president said, your work has protected thousands of Americans. You've shown incredible courage and determination. You're an inspiration to us all." Everyone clapped. I looked out at all those people and felt overwhelmed. This was all because I refused to give up. Because I stood up to Jennifer and Michael. Because I turned my pain into purpose. That night in the hotel room, I held the medal and thought about Robert. "We did it," I whispered. "We protected our house. And then we protected everyone else's houses too." I like to think he was proud of me. Proud that I didn't give up. Proud that I helped so many people. Proud that I turned something terrible into something beautiful. The next day we flew back home. Back to Palm Beach. Back to my house. When I walked through the door I felt relief. Washington, D.C. was nice. The honor was wonderful. But this is home. This is where I belong. I made myself a cup of tea and sat on the porch. The ocean was calm. The sun was setting. Everything was peaceful. Perfect. This is my life now. This is my victory. Not just keeping my house but making a difference. Helping others. Living with purpose. And as I sit here watching the waves, I think about all the people I've helped. All the houses saved. All the families protected. And I smile. Because this is what matters. Not money. Not possessions. But people. Connection. Love. Making the world a little bit better. That's the real victory. That's what I'll be remembered for. Not as the woman who almost lost her house. But as the woman who fought back. Who stood up. Who helped thousands of others stand up too. That's my legacy. That's my story. And I'm proud of it. The sun sets completely. The stars come out. The moon rises over the ocean. And I sit here in my rocking chair on my porch at my house. Home. Where I fought to stay. Where I'll live for as long as I can. 'Cause this is mine. Earned through battle. Kept through strength. Shared through love. My house. My home. My victory. Forever and always. And nobody will ever take it away from me again. Because I am Margaret Thompson. I am strong. I am brave. I am a survivor. And this is my house. Thank you for watching Granny's Voice Untold. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Share it with anyone who needs to hear that it's never too late to stand up for yourself. Remember, being kind doesn't mean being weak. Being old doesn't mean being helpless. And having family doesn't always mean being safe. Protect yourself. Know your rights. And never ever give up on what matters most to you. Until next time, stay strong and stay safe.